بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عليه السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال: سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت: دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال: السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت: عليك السلام. قال: إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له: أعوذك بالله يا أبا طه من الضعف. فقال: يا فاطمة ائتيني بالقصاء اليماني فغطيني به. فأعطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلى كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فقالت: إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال: يا أماه إني أشم عندك راهية طيبة كأنها راية جد رسول الله. فقلت: نعم إن جدك تحت القصاء. فأقبل حسن نحو القصاء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله. أتزن لي أنا أدخل معك تحت القصاء. فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي. قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت القصاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل. قال: السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي: يا أمه إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت: نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت القصاء. فلعن الحسين نحو القصاء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه. السلام عليك يا من اختار الله. أتزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت القصاء. فقال: عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافي أمتي. قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت القصاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال: السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت: عليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال: يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية أخي وابني أمير رسول الله. فقلت: نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت القصاء. فأقبل علي نحو القصاء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله. أتزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت القصاء. وقال له: عليك السلام يا أخبرني يا أخي يا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي. قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت القصاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ثم أتيت نحو القصاء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله. أتزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت القصاء. فقال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بزاتي. قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت القصاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فلما اختملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل البيت وخاصتي وحامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مبنية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلقا يدوري ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلقا يسري إلا في محبتي هؤلاء خمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال أمين جبريل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل البيت ونبوتي ومعدن رسالتي هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. فقال جبريل يا ربي يتزن لي أن أحبط إلى الأرض لأكون معكم سادسا. فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط أمين جبريل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحيات والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلقا يدوري ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلقا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذنوا لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعلي الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبريل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لي يدي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. فقال علي لي أبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما زغر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محفل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وفازوا شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. فقال نبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محفل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسويدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا سويد في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
सलावत।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
एक और बुलंद सलावत।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
दीदी अम्मा ने जो पोशाक बुला दो ज़ैनब। दीदी अम्मा ने जो पोशाक बुला दो ज़ैनब। अपने हाथों से कफन मुझको बना दो ज़ैनब। दीदी अम्मा ने जो पोशाक बुला दो ज़ैनब। अपने हाथों से कफन मुझको पहना दो ज़ैनब। और आज मक़तल में वक़्त बात तुम्हारी होगी। अभी अम्मा से मुलाकात हमारी होगी। अभी अम्मा से मुलाकात हमारी होगी। और कोई पैगाम अगर है तो सुना दो ज़ैनब। अपने हाथों से कफन मुझको बना दो ज़ैनब। और हाथ पाबंदे रसन बहना तुम्हारे होंगी। मुझको रह रह के ख़यालात है लाशे से मेरे। मुझको रह रह के ख़यालात है लाशे से मेरे। तीर किस तरह निकालोगी बता दो ज़ैनब। अपने हाथों से कफन मुझको पहना दो ज़ैनब। और मेरे लाशे की रहेगी तुम्हें पहचान बहन। चाकर दो मेरे कुर्ते को ग़रीबान बहन। चाकर दो मेरे कुर्ते को ग़रीबान बहन। और कोई लूटे ना से ऐसा बना दो ज़ैनब। अपने हाथों से कफन मुझको बना दो ज़ैनब। और सामने अपने सकीना से उतरे बालों गोहर। अभी कुछ देर में लुट जाएगा मज़लूम का घर। अभी कुछ देर में लुट जाएगा मज़लूम का घर। ये अमानत किसी गोशे में छुपा लो ज़ैनब। अपने हाथों से कफन मुझको बना दो ज़ैनब। सलमान
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद
रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, शैन रोकर कहा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। आया वक्त सफर है बहन, आज हम हो रहे हैं जुदा, अलविदा 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 अलविदा। रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, शैन रोकर कहा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। शाह पर कर बहन के गले लग गए और दुखिया बहन से कहने लगे, रोक कहने लगे, मेरी मज़लूम प्यासे मुसाफिर बहन, तेरा हाफिज खुदा, अलविदा 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 अलविदा। रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, शैन रोकर कहा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। लेके बाली सकीना को आगोश में, नन्हे नन्हे से हाथों के बोसे लिए, रो के बोसे लिए, शैन हज़रत से बेटी को तकते हुए, आह भरकर कहा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, शैन रोकर कहा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। बोले बीमार बेटे से आका मेरा बनाए गए, बेटा बाबा तेरा, बेटा बाबा तेरा। मौत की आहटें तेज होने लगे, मौत की आहटें तेज होने लगे, आज आई सदा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, शैन रोकर कहा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। ऐसा मातम करो, ऐसा मातम करो, पाक बीबी कहे मरहबा 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 मरहबा। खून गलते हुए के जख्म से आज आई सदा अलविदा 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 अलविदा। रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, रंग जाते हुए सर झुकाए हुए, शैन
मुसल्लम।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
बारी दीगर नारे सलावत।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो, रोज कब्र सकीना पे आओगी तो, शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो, जब तलक लौट गए मैं ना आऊं, जब तलक लौट गए मैं ना आऊं, आगे शम्मा जलाओगी तो, शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो। एक यसरब की थी शाहजादी, उसका सका था बास गाजी, मश्क ले गई चला सुए दरिया, और कब्जे में कर ली तराई, लोरियों में ये सच्ची कहानी, आके इसको सुनाओगी तो, शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो। और हमने जिंदा से पाई रिहाई, अब बहन पास होगी न भाई, बात इतनी सी बस याद रखना, मेरी बच्ची है गम की सताई, तूने बाजार में तो सताया, तूने बाजार में तो सताया, अब न इसको सताओगी तो, शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो। और जब कभी कैद खाने में आना, बेरदा बीबियों को न लाना, तू कोस गई भी देगा दुआएं, इसकी तन्हाइयाँ यूं मिटाना, छोटे छोटे से बच्चों को लाकर, छोटे छोटे से बच्चों को लाकर, पास इसके सुलाओगी तो, शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो। और कब्र बेकस पे आंसू बहाने, हाल कैदे सितों का सुनाने, काफिला करबला को चला है, इसके बाबा का चेलों मनाने, इतना कह दो हमारी तरह से, इसका चेलों मनाओगी तो, शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो। राखी बनते शामियों की बहू बेटियों से कह रही थी वो अकबर ये रो गए, ये अमानत है परदेसियों की, कर रही हूँ तुम्हारे हवाले, मुझसे एक बार बस इतना कह दो, अपना वादा निभाओगी तो, शाम की औरत की नाव पे आओगी तुम, शाम की औरतों एक वादा करो।
मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद।
मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
एक और नारे सलवात। सरदारों, इस मसीह को एहसास करके सुनना कि एक बच्ची अपने बाबा से क्या कह रही है। बाबा बाबा बाबा, मैं अकेली अंधेरा बदश्ते बला, जल गए खैमे कुर्ता मेरा तर हुआ, जल गए खैमे कुर्ता मेरा तर हुआ। बाबा बाबा, मैं अकेली अंधेरा बदश्ते बला, जल गए खैमे कुर्ता मेरा जल गया। फिर मेरी समत को एक जालिम बढ़ा, मैं लरज़ने लगी, दिल धड़कने लगा। बाबा, उसने कानों से नोची मेरी बालियां, कान के खून से कुर्ता मेरा तर हुआ, उसने मुंह पे तमाचा लगाया मेरे, मैं संभल ना सकी, गिर गई खाक पे। फिर मैं चिल्लाई, रोके चचा पास, शिवर मुझे मार रहा है, मेरी मदद को कोई ना आया। बाबा, मैं रोती रह गई। बाबा 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 जान, क्या मैं कहूँ क्या न कहूँ रंजो अलम। बाबा जान, क्या मैं कहूँ क्या न कहूँ रंजो अलम। शाम गम हाल सफर, शाम के जिंदा के सितम, अपने गम तुम भी सुनाओ, अपने गम मैं भी सुनाऊं। बाबा जान शिमरने जब, बाबा जान शिमरने जब, मारे तमाचे मुंह पे, बालिया भेज मेरी कुर्ता हुआ खून में तर। बाबा जान देखो जरा, बाबा जान देखो जरा, नीले है रुखसार मेरे, क्या यतीमों पे सितम करता है यूं कोई बशर। शिमर को देख के मैं खौफ से थर्राती हूँ, भैया सज्जाद के पीछे ही मैं छुप जाती हूँ। अपने गम तुम भी सुनाओ, अपने गम मैं भी सुनाऊं। बाबा जान बाजू बंधे, बाबा जान बाजू बंधे, सब बाबा जान मैंने किया पंजों पे चल के वो सफर, दर्द होता था तो चिल्लाती थी बाबा बाबा, गश में खाती तो जमीन पर नहीं गिर पाती थी, रस्सी इस तरह से गर्दन में फंसी जाती थी। अपने गम तुम भी सुनाओ, अपने गम मैं भी सुनाऊं। ये कयामत का जुमला। बाबा जान देखना क्या, बाबा जान देखना क्या, सुन भी न पाओगे बयां, बाबा जान देखना क्या, सुन भी न पाओगे बयां, मेरे रुखसार पे जालिम के अंगूठी के निशान। बाबा जान तुम भी मुझे, बाबा जान तुम भी मुझे अब नहीं पहचानोगे, खाक बालों में लहू खानों से अब तक है रवा, सब्र हर गम पे मगर कैसे किया मुझसे सुनो, तेरा 100 मील सफर कैसे किया मुझसे सुनो। अपने गम तुम भी सुनाओ, अपने गम में भी सुनाओ। أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصاب دينا حسين بن علي بن أبي طالب محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولايتك مولى القونين أسد الله الخالق علي بن أبي طالب أسد الله عين وحكم الله يد الله نور الله سر الله علي شیر خدا حیدر کرار بر محمد و آل محمد صلی الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبو القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Praise be to Allah, our Lord, who created us all from a clot of blood. Praise be to Allah, our Lord, who hides our sins and listens to our deepest desires, who is there for us when we are happy, who is there for us when we are sad. Praise be to Allah, who does not belittle us for our shortcomings. And praise be to Allah, who also has created mountains that are pegs
which hold down the land that we walk upon, and who has created water which falls down from the heaven and fertilizes our land so that we may grow the crops that we eat and that we live by. Praise be to Allah, who after all these favors that He has given us, the oxygen that we breathe, the food that we eat, the shelter upon our heads, the food that we eat, the clothes upon our backs, the parents that we have, the sisters and brothers that we have, the community that we have. After giving us all these favors, the only thing He asks for return in the Quran is that you only love Muhammad and Ali Muhammad and show loyalty to me. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
Allah says in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in Surah Ash-Shura, verse number 28, He says, La as'alukum alayhi ajran illa mawaddata fil qurba. He says, say, O Muhammad, that I do not ask for anything in return except that you show love to my kin, to my Ahlul Bayt, to my family. At the time of the Prophet, when the Prophet had come to Medina, when he had come to Mecca, when he had come to Arabia, there was this age of Jahiliyyah. It was the age of ignorance. There would be men who would bury their children alive if it was a daughter, because it was seen to be an embarrassment upon the family to have a daughter in the family. There would be people who would fight for centuries, and there would be tribes that would fight for centuries, not knowing why their grandfathers fought together, not knowing why their great-grandfathers fought together. But because of the fact that their families had fought together, they would always fight together that day. There would be people who would worship idols. They had 365 idols, an idol for each day that was kept in the Kaaba. They would worship these idols, and they would say that even though we created these idols with our own hands, they are our God. But then when Rasulullah came and he spread the religion of Islam, he said to these people that how can you worship these idols when you are the ones who created them? How do you expect these idols to go ahead and help you in time of need? I have a God, let me introduce to you this God who will be there when you need help and when you think you don't need help. He will be there when you need food, when you think you don't need food. He will be there when you think He is there and when He is not there. Let me introduce you to this God. And so from the age of Jahiliyyah, from the age of ignorance, Prophet Muhammad raised the status of the Arabians. He raised the status of the people in Arabia. And as a way of saying thank you to Rasulullah, what happened? The people of Arabia, they said that, O Muhammad, O our Prophet, we wish to give you a reward for bringing us the religion of Islam. So then when Allah hears this, He immediately says to the Rasulullah, to Prophet Muhammad, He reveals an ayat to Jibreel. He says, O Muhammad, tell them that I do not expect any reward. And he is not saying that Allah does not expect any reward. He is telling Prophet Muhammad to tell the people of Arabia, I do not accept any reward except for the fact that you love me and my family, my Ahlul Bayt. Who was the Ahlul Bayt at that time? Bibi Fatima, Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, and Prophet Muhammad himself. But Muhammad to Allah that is given to us, because us as lowly creatures, us as creatures who are sinful, who sin on a daily basis, who have desires on a daily basis, are not able to attain the level which Allah wants us to attain just by ourselves. However, when we take the bridge of Ahlul Bayt, when we use the example of Ahlul Bayt, they take our hand and directly take us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the person, by Allah, the person who understood this verse and became the embodiment of this verse out of everybody from the 40 Masumeen was Hazrat Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Hazrat Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib knew that loyalty to the Ahlul Bayt means loyalty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That giving your life for the Ahlul Bayt means giving your life for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu when we start to take examples from Hazrat Abbas, we see that there are two things that he can teach us. How to be loyal to the Ahlul Bayt and how exactly we can love Ali ibn Abi Talib. Let's first examine the first point. We see that Hazrat Abbas can teach us how to be loyal to the Ahlul Bayt. When you need to learn math, where do you go? You go to the master of math. When you need to learn science, you go to the master of science. If you need to learn religion, you go to the master of religion. But if you need to learn loyalty, you go to Shahinshah of Hazrat Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. He is the one who will teach you how to be loyal. But it is not only how to be loyal. He will teach you how to love Ali ibn Abi Talib. How did Hazrat Abbas teach us how to love Ali ibn Abi Talib? His whole life was dedicated just to make his father proud. Of course, his life was dedicated to make sure that Imam Hussein never had a need unfulfilled. But it was because of the fact that he wanted to make his father proud that he made that goal of never letting Imam Hussein's need be unfulfilled. That is the goal of his life. What do we see? We see that when Hazrat Abbas sits, he sits like Ali ibn Abi Talib. When he talks like Ali ibn Abi Talib. When he walks like Ali ibn Abi Talib. When he smiles like Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ya Allah, when Hazrat Abbas takes out his sword, he takes it out like Ali ibn Abi Talib. When he gets upon his horse, he gets on the horse like Ali ibn Abi Talib. When he is in battle, he is in battle like Ali ibn Abi Talib. To the point that we will say that Hazrat Abbas had two personalities. It was Abbas ibn Ali when he is in the city, but in the Maidan, it was Shabia Haidar ibn Ali. Let's go back in history for a second. I want to show you the similarities of the fighting techniques between Ali ibn Abi Talib and Hazrat Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. What do we see? Are we going to examine Jang-e Badr or Jang-e Uhud, Jang-e Khandaq or Jang-e Khaybar? Of course, Imam Ali was Fateh Khaybar, Fateh Badr, Fateh Uhud, Fateh Khandaq, for sure. But I want to examine the very first time that Imam Ali fought. Was it when he took out the Zulfiqar? Was it when he first took out the sword? The first time Imam Ali fought was against the youth of Quraysh, when he was protecting Prophet Muhammad. When he was protecting Prophet Muhammad. What do we see? We see in the early days of Islam, Allah had told Prophet Muhammad to go into Mecca, into the inner city of Mecca, and preach Islam. When the Quraysh had heard that Prophet Muhammad was preaching Islam, they would send the children of Quraysh to Prophet Muhammad, and they would tell the children, throw stones at this person, throw rocks at this person, throw thorns at this person. Do not let him spread the religion of Islam, because it affects our religion, it affects our money, it affects our currency. So what do we see? We see that when Prophet Muhammad goes, he gets hurt, he comes back, he does not complain. But Hazrat Abu Talib, we have to realize that Hazrat Abu Talib is the father of Haydar. If Imam Ali has the eyes of Haydar, then Hazrat Abu Talib is also Haydar. He also has the eyes of Haydar. He sees everything that goes on in his house. He sees that his nephew comes back. The nephew, the Prophet Muhammad, has blood on his face. He has mud and dirt on his clothes. And he asks Prophet Muhammad, "Oh Muhammad, what exactly happened here? Tell me who hurt you." Hazrat Muhammad, he does not lie. He tells exactly what happened. He says that the children of Quraysh came and attacked me. So then Hazrat Abu Talib goes to the fathers of Quraysh. He says, "O people of Quraysh, O fathers of Quraysh, why is it that you let your children attack my Rasul, attack my nephew, attack my Rasul? Kafir nahi hai pe. Attack my Rasul, attack my Rasul, attack my nephew." What do the Quraysh say? Quraysh, they say that, "Oh Abu Talib, this is a mamila, this is a matter between children. We do not get involved in matters of children." What does Abu Talib say? Abu Talib, the father of Ali. If Imam Ali is Nahj al-Balagha, then Hazrat Abu Talib is as well. And he says, "No matter, you cannot get involved. That is fine. I cannot get involved. That is fine. I have one person who can get involved. I have one person who can get involved. And if your children come back dead, don't come back to me. If your children come with broken arms, don't come back to me. If your children come with broken teeth, don't come back to me. This is a matter between children. Children come back to me in whatever condition. Don't come back to me and say and start complaining, because this is a matter between children. Hazrat Abu Talib takes the hand of Prophet Muhammad. He goes back to his house. He says, Ya Fatima bint Asad, where is my Haider? Where is my Sher? Where is Ali ibn Abi Talib? Ali ibn Abi Talib hears his name. He comes running to the footsteps. He comes running to the feet of his father. He says, Ya Baba, Aapka hukum. Oh father, please tell me what exactly you need. What does Hazrat Abu Talib say? He says that, Oh Ali ibn Abi Talib, oh my son, from this day on, I do not want to see one scratch on Rasulullah. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib took an oath that day that since he will be alive until his death, until the death of Rasul, no one will come close to Hazrat Muhammad, to Prophet Muhammad. So what happens? Hazrat Abu Talib tells Imam Ali, he says, tomorrow Prophet Muhammad will go into Mecca and he will start preaching Islam. I want you to stand behind him quietly, not saying a word. I want you to stand behind him quietly, not moving a muscle. As soon as you see the rocks of the Quraysh get picked up and get towards Hazrat Muhammad, as soon as you see the children of Quraysh come towards Hazrat Muhammad to attack Prophet Muhammad, I want you to take all your might and all your power, take the name of Allah and attack them back. So what does he say? So Imam Ali then goes with Hazrat Abu Talib. They go into Mecca. They see that Prophet Muhammad is reciting about Islam. He's inviting them to Islam. He is saying that Islam is a fair religion. There is no discrimination of color. Do not bury your daughters alive. There is no need to worship the gods, the idols. There is only one God. Quraysh see this occurring. They send the sons of Quraysh to Prophet Muhammad. Imam Ali, with the eyes of Haidar, sees the rock get picked up. As soon as he sees that, he goes ahead and demolishes them. He destroys them. You might be wondering, why did I skip over Imam Ali's fight? I want to focus on what the sons of Quraysh told the fathers of Quraysh. The sons of Quraysh came back broken. One had a leg broken. One had an arm broken. One had teeth missing. One had a black eye. One was dead. They came back to the fathers of Quraysh. They say that, oh fathers, who have you made us fight against? What did the fathers of Quraysh say? They said, all children of Quraysh, how is it possible that you cannot attack one man standing there? What do Quraysh say? They say that when we attack with 10, he attacks with 20. When we pick up 2 rocks, he picks up 4 rocks. He moves so swiftly. He moves so swiftly that wherever we look, we see Ali, 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 Ali. That whenever he would step upon the battlefield, the fazail of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib would not only be in our army, but it would be in the enemy's army as well. And who else had this habit? Hazrat Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Let's look at this war. Let's look at this war. I want you all to know that throughout his whole entire life, Hazrat Abbas only had one major jump. Even though he only had one major jump, which was Jang-e Siffin, everybody was scared of him, to the point that when he was in Siffin, he was only 13 or 14 years old. But when he was in Karbala, he was around 25 to 30 years old. And yet, everybody remembered what occurred at Jang-e Siffin. So let me relate to you what occurred at Jang-e Siffin. What do we see? We see a 13 to 14-year-old, after the time of Asr, comes out of the tent of his father Ali ibn Abi Talib. This 13 to 14-year-old, what is on his head? The amama of Ali ibn Abi Talib. What is on his chest? The armor of Ali ibn Abi Talib. In his hand is a sword personally given to Hazrat Abbas by Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. In his left hand is a neza of his grandfather from the side of al-Bani. On the back is the alam of Hamza, his grandfather, from the side of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He walks to the horse of Murtajis, the horse that Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib used to ride. He gets on the horse, and over there, he is still on the horse, But yet, even though he has the amama of Ali, he has the sword of Ali, he has the armor of Ali, he has the spear of his grandfather, he has the alam of Hamza, he is still Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. How does he become Shabiya Haidar? When he takes his niqab and he covers his face, the eyes of Abbas transform to the eyes of Haidar. When he takes his niqab and covers his face, the eyes of Abbas transform to the eyes of Haidar. Let me explain to you what exactly occurs when Imam Ali first occurs in the battlefield and what happens when Hazrat Abbas occurs in the battlefield. There are two things. There are two personalities within Imam Ali and two personalities within Hazrat Abbas. We already explained that in the city, in a time of peace, Hazrat Abbas is Hazrat Abbas ibn Ali. But in the time of war, he becomes Shabiya Haidar. Just like Imam Ali, in the time of peace, he is Imam Ali. When he walks in the streets, he smiles. When he is with orphans, he gives them food. He helps out poor people. He is generous. But as soon as he enters the battlefield, Imam Ali, son of Abu Talib, becomes Haidar, son of Fatima bint Asad. He becomes from Ali, son of Abu Talib, to Ali, to Haidar, son of Fatima bint Asad. What exactly occurs that this person transforms? The first thing he does is that he clenches his teeth so that the vibrations of the sword will not break his teeth. The second thing that he does is what scares the people the most, what scares the enemy the most. The second thing he does is he makes his eyes hard as if a lion has seen its prey in front of him. This eye of Haidar is so scary to the enemy that as soon as somebody looks upon it, they do not want to come out and fight. Forget that. They don't want to take one step forward and fight. Forget that. Maut has already come to them. Because as soon as they see the eyes of Haidar, they know there is no escape.
जिसे देखा हुआ पत्थर जैसा और क्या ये हाथ अलमदार ने खुद रोक लिया हुरमला तेरे लिए काफी है असगर
So we see that Imam Ali becomes Haidar, son of Fatima bint Asad, as soon as the eyes become hardened and they become the eyes of Haidar. But he also wore a niqab in his battles, just like Hazrat Abbas wore a niqab in his battle of Safin. So then Hazrat Abbas wears the niqab, he becomes the Shabiya Haidar, he rides to Safin, he attacks like lightning. This is a 13 to 14-year-old man, a man, not a child, because at this time the legs of Hazrat Abbas were already touching the ground. Whenever he would ride a horse, the shoulders of Hazrat Abbas was already bigger than the shoulders of Malik Ashtar. The strength of Hazrat Abbas was equivalent, if not a little bit less than Imam Ali's strength. Because what do we see? That when Hazrat Abbas would fight, he was able to pick up one person with one hand, strike another person with the other hand, and throw the person in his hand to another enemy. This was the strength of Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. And so he showed this strength at Safin. When he was versing the army of Muawiyah, he would go ahead and he would start to fight. He would say nothing, but his actions would show that he is the son of Ali. And as a matter of fact, many people would say that Ali has come, Ali has come, Ali has come from Muawiyah's army. What do we see? We see that Hazrat Abbas attacks the front line of Muawiyah's army. The first person's head does not fall to the ground until Hazrat Abbas gets to the last person on that very same line. He attacks like lightning whenever he fights. The people of Muawiyah's army, they begin to run away. They go to the commanders. And the commanders say, how is it possible that you cannot verse one man? So what do they say? That when we attack with 20, he attacks like 40. When we attack with 2 swords, he attacks with 4 swords. He is so swift. He moves so swiftly that wherever we see Ali, 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 Ali. Everywhere we see Ali, Ali, Ali. The fazail of Ali ibn Abi Talib begin on the side of Muawiyah. Imam Ali is on a cliff with his companion, and he sees that the army of Muawiyah is running away from Abbas. A companion hears the fazail of Ali ibn Abi Talib in Muawiyah's side, so that he looks at Imam Ali. He says, how is it possible that you are here and over there at the same time? Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, he smiles and he says, tell the fighter of Ali that Ali is calling him back. Tell the fighter of Ali that Ali is calling him back. So Hazrat Abbas hears his name. He takes his sword, he puts it back in the sheath. He begins to ride back. As he is riding back, the sweat of Hazrat Abbas that was on the forehead of Hazrat Abbas begins to fall down the face of Hazrat Abbas. As it falls down, his face already shining like a moon, and then his face becomes even more shinier because the sun's light glistens upon the wet sweat of Hazrat Abbas. When Imam Ali sees this glistening light riding back to him, he does nothing else. He says nothing else but one word. He says, Hada Qamr Bani Hashim. Bani Hashim, that this is the one who is the moon of Bani Hashim. But there is another translation. The other translation for Qamr Bani Hashim is the one who is the most beautiful in the tribe of Hashim. So let me explain to you this real quick. What exactly is the status of Qamr Bani Hashim? Because when you are beautiful in a family where you are the only one beautiful, that is nice, that is good. But when you are beautiful, when you are called beautiful in a family that has Ali Akbar, when you are beautiful in a family with Ali Asghar, with Qasim, with Ali Akbar, with Qasim, when your uncle is Hamza, when your uncle is Hamza, when you're from the tribe of Rasul Khuda, when you're from a tribe of Imam Hussein, when you're from a tribe of Imam Hassan, when your father is Ali ibn Abi Talib, and when he calls you Qamr Bani Hashim, that is a different level entirely.
ज़र्रा खैबर खैबर सबका मालिक सबका रहबर आके सलमा आके अबूजर सारे बोलो हाथ उठाकर
Many people may be wondering, maybe not in this crowd over here, but many people online, whenever they hear a majlis like this, they say that why is it that you say Haidar son of Fatima bint Asad? Why is it not that you say Haidar son of Abu Talib? Because of course Hazrat Abu Talib was a fierce warrior. He was the protector of Prophet Muhammad before Imam Ali was born. So why is it not enough to say that Hazrat Abu Talib was courageous, which is why the courage was transferred to Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib? Why is it required to say Hazrat Haidar, son of Bibi Fatima bint Asad? The reason is because you cannot be courageous in your family just by the dad. You need a mom who is willing to give everything for Hussein, to have the courage of Abbas in them, to have the courage of Abbas in their blood. What do we see? We see two riwayats that prove this point. The first riwayat is in Jang Jamal, when Hazrat Hanafiya was attacking the army of Talha and Zubayr radiallahu alayhi. When he was attacking their army, what do we see? We see that Hazrat Hanafiya launched many attacks, over 15 attacks on the enemy army, just to bring down the one camel that was standing there in the middle of the army. However, every time he would go, he would have to come back and retreat, and then he would have to regroup his army, then go again. This happened more than 15 times. On the 15th time, Hazrat Hanafiya was riding towards their army, and as soon as he was riding, he saw arrows coming towards him. Hazrat Ali tells Hazrat Hanafiya from the back that, oh Hanafiya, do not stop, do not falter, keep going. However, we have to see that Hazrat Hanafiya, although raised by Imam Ali, is still not a masoom. He is a human being. For a split second, fear takes hold of him, and he grabs his horse back just so he can stop, so the arrows will come down and then he will resume. But as soon as he pulls the horse back, another rider goes past him like lightning, attacks the camel, comes back and says, Ya Baba, the job is done. As the Hanafiya turns around, he sees Imam-e-Mujtaba, Hassan-e-Mujtaba, the sword of Ali ibn Abi Talib in his hand. Hazrat Hanafiya then rides back. When he comes back, he stands next to his father. He has tears in his eyes. Imam Ali sees this and he says, "Oh Hanafiya, why are you upset?" Hazrat Hanafiya says, "Oh father, I am not comparing myself to Imam Hassan or Imam Hussein or even Hazrat Abbas. However, I feel like I have failed because I launched more than 15 attacks. Imam Hassan only needed one attack. What does Imam Ali say? He says, "Oh Hanafiya, you are my son. They are the son of Fatima." They are the son of Fatima. They have the blood of Fatima in their veins. What else is another reason? What is another proof that you need a mother who is willing to give everything to Rasulullah, who is willing to give everything to Imam Hussein? Another proof, Imam Ali. Every time we mention Imam Ali, we cannot mention him without mentioning the Zulfiqar, without mentioning Khandaq, without mentioning Khaybar, without mentioning any of his wars. It is a world-renowned fact, world-known fact that Imam Ali was the most courageous fighter of all times. From the time he was born, even before the time he was born, until today, and until Qiyamah, Imam Ali will be known as the greatest warrior of all time. So what do we say? What do we ask Imam Ali? That, "Oh Ali, why is it that you are known to be the most courageous, to be known as Asadullah, the sword of Allah, the hand of Allah, Yadullah, the shade of Allah, the line of Allah? Why is it that when we see that you are known to be the most courageous, why do you ask your brother Aqil to find a wife from a courageous family? Why do you ask your brother Aqil to find someone who has courage in their blood?" So what do we see? We see that Imam Ali looks for al-Baneen because of the fact that he knows that only when you have a mother like al-Baneen who can give everything to Ali ibn Abi Talib, that is when you will have a son like Abbas who will give everything to Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Because when it comes to women, courage does not apply to the fact that they can go to fight to war. They can go to fight to war. War is not wajib upon women. War is not wajib upon women. However, we do know that every single man and woman, even child, could be courageous. But when it comes to courage in women, it is not the aspect of wanting to go fight in jihad. However, it is the aspect of knowing what is right and doing what is right. When you do what's right, you are courageous. But when you know what's right, you only are aql. You only are one who is smart. When Bibi Baneen knew that she knows what to do is right, she knew that servitude, that being a servant and giving her whole entire life to Ahlul Bayt, when she knew that that was the right thing to do, she became courageous, which is why Imam Ali chose her. And not only her, let me explain to you the dream of Baneen, that when the night before Imam Ali's Rishta came to Baneen, Bibi Baneen, she saw a dream. She saw 4 stars in the sky. One of them was the biggest. In the hand of the star was the alam of Hamza. The star comes down and falls to the left of Baneen. After that, the 3 other stars, the brothers of Abbas, fall onto the left of Baneen. We only saw this in one point in our lives, other than a dream. In real life, Imam Ali, if he could raise the sun back from the setting sun, he is also the only one that could bring stars down to the lap of Baneen. He is the only one that can bring the stars down to the lap of Baneen. So salam upon our mothers and salam upon Baneen for teaching us and guiding us and being able to teach us how to do Azadari of Hussein. They are the ones who were able to instill in us the love of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Whenever a new baby is born and they are learning to walk, they say, "Take Ali's name and you will be able to walk. Take Abbas's name, you will be able to walk." From a very young age, they have taught us all this. By Allah, if our mothers had not given themselves completely to Hussein ibn Ali and his message, we would not be sitting here today on a Wednesday night reciting majlis and listening to majlis and doing pursa. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu I have a couple topics to discuss. If we're not too, we're good. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu One other topic I want to discuss is what exactly makes Abbas Abbas. We already know that the eyes of Haydar make Abbas. However, sometimes in our community we downplay the effect a name has on a person and their life. When we look at the name of Abbas, what does it mean? Abbas for sure means lion, but what type of lion? In my research, I saw that the Arabians had loved lions so much that there are 233 ways to call a lion in Arabic, and each 233rd way of calling a lion is describing a lion in a different way. What do we see? I'll just go over 5 real quick. We see Asad, which is a lion, just a soul lion. We see Ghazanfar, a lion who is a wise lion, an older lion but a wise lion who has hikmah. We see Zagham, a lion who is a running lion. We see, I like to believe that this lion was only named after Imam Ali was born. We see the name of Haydar, that when Bibi Fatima saw Imam Ali, she said that this is an attacking lion. His name will be Haydar ibn Ali. His name will be Haydar. That is an attacking lion. And then when all these lions, the 233 lions, when they gather in a pride, they come to one spot, which is the cave of that lion, which all other lions fear. And that is Abbas. Abbas is that lion which all other lions fear. That is why he was able to fight the way he did in the Ryyarn. That is why he was able to show what exactly it means to be the son of Haydar ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. And it is also why he was able to give such a dangerous khutbah on the parcham of the Kaaba, on the roof of the Kaaba. If you allow me, I will be really quick, but we'll just go to the khutbah of Hazrat Abbas on the Kaaba. But Muhammad wa Muhammad sallallahu Before we get into the khutbah, let me at least explain what exactly is going on at this time. Imam Hussein has arrived in Mecca. The month is Zil Hajj. It is actually the day of the 8th of Zil Hajj, that when he arrives and he goes to do tawaf, and we see that the whole Mecca is packed. There are merchants coming to sell their goods. There are Muslims that are coming to do tawaf upon the Kaaba, because the month of Zil Hajj is the month of Hajj. So then we see that Imam Hussein and the youth of Bani Hashim, they come outside of the house of Bibi Khatija and they go towards the Kaaba. Everybody hears Imam Hussein saying, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. I want to say, if they heard a little more closely, they would hear the Kaaba saying, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein,
Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Nare Haydari.
So then Imam Hussein and the Bani Hashim, they do their tawaf around the Kaaba, they take their prayers, they do their du'as, and after everything is done, Imam Hussein looks to Hazrat Abbas and he says that, oh Abbas, I want you to go and tell the caravan to get ready to leave, and before we leave, I want you to go to the roof of the Kaaba and explain why it is that I am leaving. What does Hazrat Abbas say? Does he say that, oh Imam Hussein, it is month of Zil Hajj, this is the peak time to do Hajj, this is the peak time to do Kaaba, this is to do tawaf of the Kaaba? Does he say that, oh Imam Hussein, we should do dua, we should be in prayer, we should be in namaz, we should follow the deen of Islam? No, because Abbas knows that the deen of Islam revolves around the Kaaba, but the Kaaba revolves around Hussein. The Kaaba revolves around Hussein, because Shah Asta Hussein, Badshah Asta Hussein, Deen Asta Hussein, Deen Pana Asta Hussein. That without Imam Hussein, there is no deen. There is no deen. So what happens? Hazrat Abbas tells the caravan of Imam Hussein, get ready, we're about to leave. But before we leave, I want you to go and sit with my Aka, with my Mawla, and stay with him while I give a khutbah. They say, where are you going to give a khutbah? And then Hazrat Abbas says, I will give a khutbah on the roof of the Kaaba. And then they say, where will you face? What does Hazrat Abbas say? Yeah, this might be your Qibla, but my Qibla is Hussein. If I'm on the roof of the Kaaba, I will face Hussein. I will face my Qibla. And then Hazrat Abbas walks towards the Kaaba. The crowd that is around the Kaaba, they begin to split for the giant stature of Hazrat Abbas. As he approaches the Kaaba, as the footsteps of Hazrat Abbas approach the Kaaba, the ruh of the Kaaba senses Hazrat Abbas. It kneels down and bows in prostration to Hazrat Abbas. Hazrat Abbas then finds himself himself on top of the roof of the Kaaba. He sees people praying. He sees people doing tawaf. He sees everybody in their own actions. He sees everybody doing their own ibadat. Imam Hussein looks at Hazrat Abbas. Hazrat Abbas looks at Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein nods. Imam Hussein nods. I just want to say this. If Imam Hussein nodded at the fact that Hazrat Abbas was on the Kaaba, he would definitely nod to the fact if we place an alam upon the Kaaba, if we place the alam of Abbas on the Kaaba, he will definitely nod. And Imam Mahdi will do this exactly, that there will be an alam upon the Kaaba of Allah. So then we see that Imam Hussein nods. He says, begin your khutbah. He says, begin your khutbah. I will read the khutbah directly from the book. I do not want to mispronounce anything that Hazrat Abbas has said. What does he say? He says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
He says, all praise is to Allah. All praise is to Allah, who honored Baytullah, the house of Allah, with the arrival of his father, of the father of my master Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. He is saying that this house was honored by the arrival of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib within it. And when we see that he says his father, then a person like me would ask, oh Abbas, isn't it true that Hazrat Ali is also your father? Why don't you say, my father, Imam Ali? Hazrat Abbas would respond to me and he would say that, oh man, how can I recite my own fazail when Imam Hussein is presented in front of me, when my own Mawla is presented in front of me? This is the loyalty of Hazrat Abbas, that when his Aqah is in front of him, or if his Aqah is not in front of him, the loyalty streak of Hazrat Abbas always wins out compared to all other qualities of him. So that he says that this house was nothing more than a pile, a structure of bricks and stones. It was a pile, a structure of bricks and stones. However, the Kaaba became the Qibla after the arrival of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. The Kaaba became a Qibla after the arrival of Ali ibn Abi Talib. These are the words of Hazrat Abbas that I'm about to say next. These are not my words. What does Hazrat Abbas see on top of the Kaaba? He sees people in Safar and Marwa running back and forth. He sees people that are taking the water from the well of Zamzam and they are gathering it. He sees people doing tawaf around the Kaaba. He sees people reading Quran near the Kaaba. He sees people reading namaz near the Kaaba. And then what does he say? He looks down upon these people. He says, Ya Kafiru, all kafiru, all kafirs, all oppressors. A person like me would say that, oh Abbas, these are people who are doing the actions of Muslims. These are the people who are praying to the same Lord that you pray. Hazrat Abbas would say that, oh man, anybody that doesn't have Wilayat Ali in their deen, anybody that doesn't have Wilayat Ali in their deen is definitely a kafir, even if they are in the presence of the Kaaba. So what does he say? He says, all kafirs, all oppressors. He says that people's hands, they kiss Hajar al-Aswad, they kiss the black stone. However, the maqam of my Mawla is so much that Hajar al-Aswad kisses the hands of my Mawla Hussein. What else does he say? He says that if it were not for the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Kaaba itself would uproot itself and fly towards the feet of my Mawla Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. He just begins to recite the Fazal of Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Then he says, do you think that I cannot see the swords hidden in your clothes? By Allah, the will of my Mawla is the will of Allah, and the will of Allah is the will of my Mawla. How many of us can say with certainty that we believe that everything that the Imam has said, no matter how exaggerated it may seem, is true? Because the Imams don't say lie. Most of the times, we do say that we believe everything that Imam says. However, sometimes we have doubts. It is human nature to have doubts. But look at the loyalty of Hazrat Abbas, that not 1 second was there a doubt in his heart. He said directly that the will of Allah is the will of my Mawla. The will of my Mawla is the will of Allah. And if it were not for the will of my Mawla, I would attack you the same way an eagle attacks sparrows. The same way a bird of prey is attacked by a predator, I would attack you the same way. What else does he say? He says that the Quraysh have tried many times in the past. They have tried many times in the past to attack Rasulullah. However, they were never able to get through the defenses of Ali ibn Abi Talib. They were never able to attack Rasulullah because of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And do you think that today, I, the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, will let you attack the son of Rasul Khuda? By Allah, the same sword that Ali had given me in Safin is still in my sheath. The same people that I murdered, I can murder again. Your grandfathers died by my hands. Your fathers died by Ali's hands. And you will die by my hands again today. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. This is how Hazrat Abbas had displayed loyalty to the fullest, that he was the epitome, the perfection, the peak of loyalty when it came to the Ahlul Bayt. That he had taken the verse in the Quran and he had said that if Allah says that He only wants me to love the kin of Muhammad, to love the Ahlul Bayt of Muhammad, then I will for sure follow that to the best of my degree. He will go ahead and follow that to the best of his degree, even if it makes him die. Even if it means that he will be on his final breath, he will make sure that he will call Hussein nothing else but Mawla. He will call Hussein nothing else but Aqa. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu we must take lessons from Hazrat Abbas, because Hazrat Abbas, even though he was raised by Masumeen, even though he was from the house of the 14 Masumeen, he was still a human being. He was still a human being. But because of the fact that he had so much love for Ali ibn Abi Talib, he was able to take that love of Ali ibn Abi Talib and transcend his soul onto the heights of the 14 Masumeen, where he was accepted by everybody that was near him as a family member, to the point that Hazrat Ali himself had called him the moon of Bani Hashim, Qamar Bani Hashim. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu एक और बुलंद तर आवाज पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद Hazrat Abbas was actually throughout his whole entire life he was taught by Bibi Baneen that you are only a slave of Hussein ibn Ali. You are not the brother of Ali, you are not the brother of Hussein, you are not the brother of Zainab. You are a slave, you are a ghulam. Anything that Hussein needs, you will fulfill. Anything that he wants, you will fulfill. Imam Hussein should not be able to get up when you're in his presence. And Hazrat Abbas was trained so well by Bibi Baneen that he actually had a fear of upsetting Imam Hussein, or a fear of the fact that he will not be able to always fulfill the desires of Imam Hussein. And yet, even after having this fear, he always felt honored to be called the Ghulam of Hussein. That whenever he would introduce himself, he would say, I am Abbas, son of Ali, but I am the Ghulam of Hussein. I am Abbas, son of Ali, but I am the Ghulam of Bibi Zainab Shahzadi. And Imam Hussein had never had the honor of being called brother by Hazrat Abbas, except for one point of his time, one point in his life. When Hazrat Abbas was in his final breath, Imam Hussein said, "Oh Abbas, I know that the arrow in your eye has taken away your vision, and I know that the hands that have been taken away from you will not allow you to hold me. But I require one thing from you, one last thing, my ghulam." So Imam Hussein says, I need one last thing. Hazrat Abbas says, Ya Mawla, I have no more eyes and I have no more hands. Maybe my legs will be of use, but please tell me what I can do for you. So Imam Hussein looks at Hazrat Abbas and he says, Oh Abbas, all I want from you is for you to call me brother. Hazrat Abbas says, Assalamu alayka ya bhaiya, Assalamu alaykum, oh brother. And as he passes away, it's as if Hazrat Abbas could only call Imam Hussein his brother if he was at the time of the death. And so Imam Hussein was honored by the fact that Hazrat Abbas called Imam Hussein brother. But that honor was not given to Bibi Zainab. That honor was not given to Bibi Zainab. That Hazrat Abbas always looked at Bibi Zainab and said, Shahzadi. He always said, oh my queen, oh my princess, tell me what I can do for you. Oh my queen, oh my princess, are you comfortable? Oh my queen, oh my princess, what can I do for you? Hazrat Abbas was never allowed to call Bibi Zainab his sister, and he was never allowed to call Bibi Sukaina his niece. However, I know for a fact that Hazrat Abbas's love for his relations, for his relationships, for his people was so much that anytime Bibi Sakina needed anything, she would call Hazrat Abbas before Imam Hussein ibn Ali. Before she would say, Ya Baba, she would say, Ya Ammu. What do we see? We see in Karbala, 10th of Muharram, everybody is gone. The people in the tent of Hussein is no people left. There is only children and the wives and the sisters of Hussein. And one man, Hazrat Abbas, he goes to Bibi Sakina. He says, Oh Sakina, what is bothering you? Why are you crying? Bibi Sakina says, Ya Ammu, I am thirsty. I have not had water for 3 days and 3 nights. Please, I beg you, Ya Ammu. As soon as she says, I beg you, Hazrat Abbas' heart, it breaks. Nobody has ever had to beg Hazrat Abbas for something. They only had to ask once. Bibi Sakina says, I beg you, Ya Ammu, please get me some water. Hazrat Abbas, we all know the story. Hazrat Abbas tries his hardest. He goes, he tries to get the water. Bibi Sakina sees the alam of Abbas flaying from right to left, swaying from right to left. And at one point, the alam of Abbas falls onto the ground. Bibi Sakina looks to the children. She says, oh children, go back in your tents. Go back in your tents. From this day on, I will never ask for water. You never ask for water. You never asked for water. Isham Gariba, after witnessing the murder of her father Hussein, what does she see? She sees the shimmer comes upon her and she takes everything that she can and she tries to run away. The only thing she is able to take is her earrings. She covers her ears. She runs away. Shimmer is too fast for her. Shimmer approaches her. He corners her. He takes his hand with the ring on it. He slaps the cheek of the most masoom person to be born on this earth. He slaps the cheek of that lady Sakina. After he slaps the cheek, he takes his hands. He rips the earrings of Bibi Sakina. Bibi Sakina does not know what to do. When she turns one way, Imam Sajjad's tent is on fire. When she turns the other way, Bibi Zainab is also on fire. When she looks at her mom is running away. She goes to Imam Hussein. She says, Ya Baba, do you see my ears? Ya Baba, you have never even yelled at me. Ya Baba, do you see my gala? Do you see my cheek? Ya Baba, what has become of us? Then she looks to Furat. She says, Oh Abbas, oh Ammu, has it ever been possible that I asked for something you have not delivered? Hazrat Abbas's body begins to shake at Mehfil Furat. Imam Sajjad says, Oh Sakina, do not call your Ammu, because I see him in heaven. He is crying tears of blood. He cannot help you right now. Come back to me. Bibi Sakina goes to Imam Sajjad and they begin their journey. They go from Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Sham. In Sham, they get to the Darbar of Yazid. The most hardest part of Bibi Zainab and Bibi Sakina's journey was standing for 3 days in front of the door of Yazid's Darbar as everybody would set it up as a musical festival. They see that Bibi Zainab says, I will not enter into this Darbar. My dignity as a daughter of Ali will not allow me to enter into this Darbar. What does she see? She sees Bibi Sakina takes her hand and points at her father's head. Bibi Sakina says, Oh auntie, please look at my father's head. He is crying. He is asking you to enter the Darbar. Bibi Zainab says, Labbaik ya Hussein. Enters into the Darbar of Yazid. When she gets to the Darbar of Yazid, Yazid begins to recite poetry. And what does he say? He says that, how did you like this show? How did you like this show? I have killed everybody near you. I have killed everybody dear to you. you. And then he says that I see a girl within you. I see a girl that is in your qafila. Bring her to me. Bibi Sakina steps forward right behind Hazrat Sajjad. Hazrat Sajjad says, Oh Yazid, if you have any dignity, you will leave my little sister alone. She is only 3 years old. Do you not see the slaps on her skin? Do you not see the rasia that have bound her shoulders? Do you not see the beria on her feet? Leave her alone. Do not annoy her. And then Yazid says, I do not wish to annoy her. I only want to do one thing. I want to test the power of her love against her father's love. I want to see what exactly is the love of Hussein. So what does Bibi Sakina say? That how is it possible that you can test me? Yazid brings out the head of Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yazid brings out the head of Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. The blood of Ali Asghar is still upon the face of Hussein ibn Ali. And then he says that, Oh Sakina, if you love your father so much, call his head towards you. What does Sakina say? Ya Baba! Ya Baba! This Maloon wishes to test me. He wishes to test me. So then the head of Hazrat Imam Hussein falls from the steps of Yazid and come towards the arms of Bibi Sakina. Bibi Sakina says, Ya Baba, after you left, I promise you, I did not drink one drop of water. Ya Baba, please tell me, how is my brother Ali Asghar? Ya Baba, how is my brother Ali Akbar? Ya Baba, how is my Ammu Abbas? How is my Ammu Abbas? When I saw his body, I could not recognize him. He used to be so tall. He used to be so big. But when I saw his body on the head of Furat, it was cut into pieces. They were not able to lift up the pieces of my Ammu Abbas. They take Bibi Sakina to the Zindan of Yazid. They say that Bibi Sakina would cry day and night. It is almost done. Masayib is almost done. I just want you to know what exactly Bibi Sakina went through in these trying times. They take her to Zindan Yazid. They separate her from her family because of the fact that Bibi Sakina would cry so much. I want you to imagine this, that a lady, a girl has lost her father, has lost her mom, has lost her brother, and she is not allowed to cry, not just for 3 days and 3 nights. She is not allowed to cry for a whole year. She is taken and separated in a separate zindan. All she says is, Ya Baba. Everywhere around me is darkness. Ya Baba, please bring me back to Sajjad. They bring her back to Sajjad. Imam Sajjad sees that she has grown weak. She has grown frail. Bibi Sakina is told by Imam Sajjad, Oh Sakina, I believe that it is time for you to sleep. But he does not mean the sleep that we normally do at night. This is an Imam, he has hikmah. He knows what we do not know. He says, I fear it is time for you to sleep. Bibi Sakina closes her eyes. She sees the hands of her father, Hussein ibn Ali, reaching towards her. And Hussein says, Oh Sakina, I know that your shoulders hurt from the ropes that have burned you. I know your gala is full of smacks from Shimon. I know you were not able to cry. Come back to me. Look at this pail of water I have. The first thing she says, did my brother Ali Asghar have a drop of water? Did my brother Ali Asghar have a drop of water yet? When she wakes up, she says that, Oh Sajjad, oh my brother, I see in my dreams Hazrat Imam Hussein coming towards me. Hazrat Sajjad says, go back to sleep, baby. Go back to sleep, daughter. Go back to sleep, sister. This is not the time to wake up. As soon as she puts her head back into the ground and closes her eyes, the Ruh of Sakina leaves the Zindan of Sham. When it is the next day, it is time to go. Bibi Rabab says, my daughter, you have been through much. You have been through much. You always said, it is time to go home. I want to go home. Come with me. Let's go home. When Imam Sajjad sees Bibi Sakina not responding, he already has a tear in his eye. He says, Oh Sakina, wake up. It is time to go. We have been through too many difficulties. Do not give me more difficulties. Do not give me more difficulties. As soon as Imam Sajjad touches the skin, the cold and dark skin of Bibi Sakina, Imam Sajjad says, Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilayhi Raji'un.
छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, एक 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 छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद। तूने रोया है रोया है सकीना को सुला कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद। तूने रोया है तूने रोया है सकीना को सुला कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद। कैसे बाबा ने उठाया था बदन असगर का, कैसे बाबा ने उठाया था बदन असगर का, उठ न पाया है हाय उठ न पाया है सकीना को उठा के आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद। कैसे बाबा ने उठाया था बदन असगर का, कैसे बाबा ने उठाया था बदन असगर का, उठ न पाया है हाय उठ न पाया है सकीना को उठा के आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद। तूने रोया है तूने रोया है सकीना को सुला कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद, एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद। फूल से गालों पे कहते हैं तमाचों के निशान, फूल से गालों पे कैसे हैं तमाचों के निशान, काश बाबा को हाय काश बाबा को दिखाती मैं बैठा के आबिद, आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद फूल से गालों पे कैसे हैं तमाचों के निशान फूल से गालों पे कैसे हैं तमाचों के निशान काश बाबा को गए काश बाबा को दिखाती मैं बिठा के आबिद छोटी सी लहद देखो बना के आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना के आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद रोया है हाय खून रोया है सकीना को सुला गए आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर खून रोया है हाय खून रोया है सकीना को सुला कर आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद मुसलमानों तुम्हें अब ना सताएगी सदा है मुसलमानों तुम्हें अब ना सताएगी सदा बोले तुरबत में गाए बोले तुरबत में सकीना को सुला के आबिद छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद एक छोटी सी लहद देखो बना कर आबिद या हुसैन 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 Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein, Hussein, Ya Hussein, Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Hussein, Ya Hussein, Hussein, Ya 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 मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू न आयो 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 मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना 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 आयो मैं सदके मैं बारी अकबर मैं सदके मैं बारी आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं बारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं बारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो नाने दे रोजे ते जाके रात दिने नाने दे रोजे ते जाके रात दिने मैं रो अर्ज गुजारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी 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 अकबर तू ना आयो नाने दे रोजे ते जाके रात दिने नाने दे रोजे ते जाके रात दिने मैं रो अर्ज गुजारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी 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 अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी अकबर तू ना आयो की जीना भैना दा बाज बिरावा दे की जीना भैना दा बाज बिरावा दे तेरी दिल भैन प्यारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं बारी अकबर तू ना आयो मनता मन मनहारी 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 अकबर तू ना जीना बहना दा बाज बिरावा दे की जीना बहना दा बाज बिरावा दे दिल बहन प्यारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता मन हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता मन हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता मन हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू आयो मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू ना आयो खाबा दे विच बैठा तोरी झूले दी खाबा दे विच बैठा तोरी झूले दी तेरा झूला रह गया खाली असगर तू ना आई मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता मन हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता मन हारी अकबर आयो मन ता मन हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन हारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता मन हारी अकबर तू ना नाने दे रोजे ते जाके रात दिने नाने दे रोजे ते जाके रात दिने मैं रो रो अर्ज गुजारी अकबर तू ना आयो मैं सदके मैं वारी अकबर तू ना आयो मन ता मन हारी 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 अकबर तू ना आयो या हुसैन 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 कहा ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना कहा ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना कहा ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना कहा ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना कहा ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना कहा ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये रात में ढल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ये रात में ढल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है भी है बाजू में वो ताज़ियानों के नीला, ये भी है पैरों में बोला है आज भी वो सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है भी है बाजू में वो ताज़ियानों के नीला, ये भी है पैरों में बोला है आज भी वो सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये रात में ढल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब। जिगर में तीर जो पैदा था जिगर जो अब तक वो खाक से में है, अभी तलक नहीं बेगर सफर में है ज़ैनब। ये
सफर में है ज़ैना, कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना,
कहाँ ये रात ढल कर सफर में है ज़ैना, कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना,
कहाँ ये दिन से निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना, कहाँ ये दिन से निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना,
है उसके हाथों में एक कोई तैयारी दो बाजू, जुलूए शाह शहीदां से जो बहाता लहू, लहू वो चेहरे पे मलके सफर में है ज़ैनब, कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब,
कहाँ ये दिन से निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना, कहाँ ये दिन से निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना,
है उसके हाथों में कितनी तैयारी दो बाजू, जुलूए शाह शहीदां से जो बहाता लहू, लहू वो तेरे पे मलके सफर में है ज़ैनब, कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब,
कहाँ ये दिन से निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना, कहाँ ये दिन से निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना,
कहाँ ये रात ढल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब, कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब,
कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना,
है उसके हाथों में एक कोई तैयारी दो बाजू, जुलूए शाह शहीदां से जो बहाता लहू, लहू वो चेहरे पे मलके सफर में है ज़ैनब, कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैनब,
कहाँ ये दिन से निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना, कहाँ ये दिन निकल कर सफर में है ज़ैना, या हुसैन 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 या हुसैन,
रेता चिरुल गई मिट्टिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी, रेता चिरुल गई मिट्टिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी, रेता चिरुल गई मिट्टिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी, रेता चिरुल गई मिट्टिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी, रेता चिरुल गई मिट्टिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी, रेता चिरुल गई मिट्टिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी, रेता चिरुल गई मिट्टिया
गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के चुन चुन के पावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई
मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के
कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के
चुन चुन के पावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो
रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई
मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
खैयाम अंदर जद मेहंदी आए बन रे दी माने सर खा के पाए खैयाम अंदर जद मेहंदी आए बन रे दी माने सर खा के पाए बन री दा बाबा बन री बोला के बन री दा बाबा बन री बोला के रो बिखावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई
मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के
कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के
चुन चुन के पावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
मकतल चो सैयद वैन पाया कल्लाह नाना ज़हरा दा जाया मकतल चो सैयद वैन पाया कल्लाह नाना ज़हरा दा जाया कौसर के नारे मेरे दिल के सारे कौसर के नारे मेरे दिल के सारे केड़ा उठावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो
रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के
कुबरा दा बाबा चादर बिछा के
चुन चुन के पावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी
बुदरानू लाखों जे शेर ला कासिम दी पहले मजलिस करा बुदरानू लाखों जे शेर ला कासिम दी पहले मजलिस करा बन रेनू आंखों शगना दे बेले बन रेनू आंखों शगना दे बेले ओ बुली ना जावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता
चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रेता चिरुल गई मिठिया चिरुल गई मानो रुबावे कासिम दी मेहंदी रहताचे रुल गई मिटियाचे रुल गई मानो रुबा मेरे कासिम दी महंगी या हुसैन या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन है या हुसैन 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 या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन
है दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया है दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
है दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
है दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया
सुला दो मुझे भैया
तुम्हें माँ की तरह भैया तुम्हें माँ की तरह लोरी सुला लो मुझे भैया
दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
तुम्हें माँ की तरह भैया तुम्हें माँ की तरह लोरी सुला लो मुझे भैया दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
है दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो
मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
दुखते हैं मेरे कान
सुला दो मुझे भैया सुला दो मुझे भैया
लगता है अंधेरे से डर तेरी सकीना को लगता है अंधेरे से डर तेरी सकीना को तुम्हें से मेरे बाबा का तुम्हें से मेरे बाबा का दिला दो मुझे भैया दुखते हैं मेरे कान सुला दो मुझे भैया,
सुला दो मुझे भैया।
तुम्हें माँ की तरह भैया, तुम्हें माँ की तरह लोरी सुना दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया, सुला दो मुझे भैया, हाय दुखते हैं मेरे कान,
सुला दो मुझे भैया, सुला दो मुझे भैया।
देखा है नाखों ने बाबा का गला कटते, देखा है नाखों ने बाबा का गला कटते, भूलूंगी भला कैसे, भूलूंगी भला कैसे, बता दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया,
सुला दो मुझे भैया।
तुम्हें माँ की तरह भैया, तुम्हें माँ की तरह लोरी सुना दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे, सुला दो
मुझे भैया,
हाय दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे
भैया, सुला दो मुझे भैया। दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया, सुला दो मुझे भैया।
मैं सात मुहर्रम से प्यासी हूँ मेरे भैया, मैं सात मुहर्रम से प्यासी हूँ मेरे भैया, दो बूंद अगर पानी, दो बूंद अगर पानी पिला दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया, सुला दो, तुम्हें माँ की तरह भैया, तुम्हें माँ की तरह लोरी सुना दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया,
सुला दो मुझे भैया।
हाय दुखते हैं
मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया, सुला दो मुझे भैया।
देखा है नाखों ने बाबा का गला कटते, देखा है नाखों ने बाबा का गला कटते, भूलूंगी भला कैसे, भूलूंगी भला कैसे, बता दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया,
सुला दो मुझे।
तुम्हें माँ की तरह भैया, तुम्हें माँ की तरह लोरी सुना दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया,
सुला दो मुझे भैया।
हाय दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया,
सुला दो मुझे भैया। दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया, सुला दो मुझे भैया।
लगता है अंधेरे से डर तेरी सकीना को, लगता है अंधेरे से डर तेरी सकीना को, तुम्हें सर मेरे बाबा का, तुम्हें सर मेरे बाबा का दिला दो मुझे भैया, दुखते हैं मेरे कान, सुला दो मुझे भैया,
सुला दो मुझे भैया।
तुम्हें माँ की तरह भैया, ओ खालिक तेरा ममनून है,
खालिक तेरा ममनून है,
ओ खालिक तेरा ममनून है,
खालिक तेरा ममनून है,
ओ खालिक तेरा ममनून है,
खालिक तेरा ममनून है।
ए मुर्तज़ा ओ फातिमा के नूर है, या हुसैन हुसैन या हुसैन हुसैन या हुसैन हुसैन या हुसैन हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। ओ सजाद ने किवें वेखिया,
सजाद ने किवें वेखिया,
ओ सजाद ने किवें वेखिया,
सजाद ने किवें वेखिया,
ओ सजाद ने किवें वेखिया,
सजाद ने किवें वेखिया।
शिमरे लई जदों मारिया मेरा हुसैन या हुसैन हुसैन या हुसैन हुसैन या हुसैन हुसैन या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन।
पर शिमर लानत
बेशुमार।
तो जैसे औरत सल्लल्लाहु अलैका या अबा अब्दुल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न रसूलिल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न अमीरिल मोमिनीन, अस्सलामु अलैका व इब्न सय्यदिल वसीर, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न फातिमत ज़हरा सय्यदत निसाइल आलमीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या इमाम हसन मुज्तबा, अस्सलामु अलैका या इमाम हुसैन शहीद करबला, अस्सलामु अलैका या अबा अब्दुल्लाह व अलल अरवाह अल्लती हल्लत बफनाइक, अलैका मिन्नी जमीअन सलामुल्लाह अबदन मा बक़ीत व बक़ियल लैल वन नहार, वला जअलहु अल्लाहु आखिरल अहद मिन्नी लिज़ियारतिकुम, अस्सलामु अलल हुसैन व अला अली इब्निल हुसैन व अला औलादिल हुसैन व अला सहाब। अस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदी व मौलाई अली इब्न अल-हुसैन व मुहम्मद इब्न अली व जाफर इब्न मुहम्मद व मूसा इब्न जाफर, अस्सलामु अलैका या गरीब अल-गुरबा, अस्सलामु अलैका या मुइन अल-ज़ुअफ़ा वल फ़ुक़रा, अस्सुल्तान या अबुल हसन या अली इब्न मूसा अय्युहर रिज़ा, अस्सलामु अलैका या बीबी मासूमकुम फ़ातिमा, अस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदी मौलाई मुहम्मद इब्न अली व अली इब्न मुहम्मद वल हसन इब्न अली, अस्सलामु अलैका या बक़ियतुल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या हुज्जतुल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या इमाम महदी, अस्सलामु अलैका या मौलाना या साहिबल असर वज़ ज़मान, अल अमान अल अमान अल अमान मिन फितनतिज़ ज़मान, अस्सलामु अलैका या खलीफतुर रहमान, अस्सलामु अलैका या मज़हरल ईमान, अस्सलामु अलैका या इमामुल इंस वल जान, अज्जलल्लाहु तआला फरजक व सहलल्लाहु तआला मखरजक व ज़ुहूरक इंशाअल्लाह व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। एक सूरह फातिहा की गुजारिश है। मरहूम नसीम रिजवी व सैयद अली बैग, सैयद अंसार रिजवी, सैयद मुश्तबा रिजवी, सैयद जमशेद रज़ा, सैयद इकबाल रज़ा और तमाम मरहूमीन मरहूमात के लिए।
नारा हैदरी और दुश्मनाने लुफेत मिलाना
Yes, you want to